Today I'm going to show you 4 easy, specific ways to train your dog seconds at a time. I'm Zach George. I train dogs. This is my new dog, and I'm going to show you how I train her from day 1. Things definitely won't always go smoothly. You can start from the beginning, or you can pick up anywhere. Subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. When you put into motion an approach based on love and respect, your results will forever remain in motion. This is inertia. Welcome to the dog training experience. Okay, I've got to admit, before we get into today's lesson, there is one very important prerequisite, and that is that your dog has an understanding of their very basic skills. If you need any help with this or you just need a refresher, check out my free digital dog training course, 30-Day Perfect Pup, and it will show you how to teach your dog all of the most important foundational skills they need to know in just 30 days. The 30-Day Perfect Pup program is actually based on the syllabus that I used to do when I taught real dog training classes, like in person. And it's actually a lot better because you'll get daily emails with training advice and video lessons from me. Also, you get a downloadable guide with extra training tips, schedules, and lists to help keep you on track. And one of the coolest things is you get exclusive access to a private Facebook community. There's even an app so that you can have everything you need in your pocket at all times to reference on the go. It's all totally free. I swear, I'll have a link in the description. Assuming your dog understands the very basic concept of come when called, sit, stay, leave it, and some other basic things, you're ready to start training them in seconds at a time to listen to you when it really matters and in the real world. So when you think about a typical dog training lesson, you might think about sitting down with your dog and working on something brand new with them, or working on something they already know, right? Maybe you'll do that for 20 minutes at a time or so. I mean, think back to when you got your first puppy or your first dog. You had to very deliberately sit down with them and walk them through just about everything. When and where to do their business, what's okay to chew on and what's not. The basic concepts of life-saving skills like come and stay. And if you're like most people, it took pretty deliberate effort over the span of many weeks to just get basic versions of those things from your dog. But at some point, you really have to evolve your training mentality from this is my dedicated training time and start putting a much stronger emphasis on tiny, spontaneous training sessions throughout the day. Now, don't get me wrong, longer dedicated training sessions definitely have their place, and they're a completely necessary part of training a dog. But as your dog demonstrates that they really are getting these basic versions, you have to move on to more spontaneous training sessions. For instance, once you've really done a thorough introduction and shown your dog all of the parts of a basic skill like staying at an open doorway, find times during the day while your dog is preoccupied with something, randomly open the front door and ask them to stay on super short notice. Each instance of training like this can be significantly more profound than practice you would do in a more obviously set up training session. Because instead of being in a focused school state of mind, your dog is in their regular day-to-day mindset. Because Inertia has mastered a basic stay, now she's at the point where sometimes throughout the day, when she's not expecting it at all, I might open a door and throw something really exciting out so that she learns to be really good about staying on very short notice. Right now, I've got an impromptu lesson plan for Inertia. I want to be able to open the front door and the back door both. I've never done this training exercise where I've had her stay with wide open doors. Over here, stay. Back up. Good. We even had someone walk by over here. Stay. So this is brand new for Inertia, being able to leave the front door open like this while I have her stay. But that's what we've worked up to over the last several months on this. Safety is always the #1 priority, so you wouldn't want to practice this until you've worked up to a reliable stay at the door. So my goal is to make sure that no matter how exciting it is out there, that she does not run out of the front door. Stay. Stay. Okay, get it. Good job, let go. So watch this, I'm gonna get her really into it right here at this door. Right here. Stay. Okay, get it. Good job. Come. Lie down. Very good. Okay, go get it. So in this example, you're practicing more than just the literal skill of staying at an open door. You're also teaching your dog to perform that skill when they're in a very surprised state of mind. That's the real value here. After all, that's when we want our dogs to listen to something as important as stay the most. There are so many different ways to work on basic impulse control exercises minutes at a time. I cover way more in my books than we'll have time for in this episode, so if you want to check them out, I'll have a link below. Here's another example, a real life leave it. When you very first train your dog to leave it, you sit down with them for a few minutes and you hold a treat in your hand and teach them to leave it alone in a very focused way. And that type of training lesson is a completely necessary step, but it's a completely different context than leaving something alone in a more real-world circumstance. But when you're making lunch or dinner, initiate realistic, short surprise tests for your dog. If you're trying to train your dog how to stay off the counter and stop eating things when you drop them, take 4 seconds to simulate a training session that closely mimics real life. I've designed a brand new exercise for Inertia. She's never seen this one before, so she doesn't know what to expect. But, say you're at your refrigerator, right? And you want to spontaneously surprise your dog and make sure that they understand a broad, generalized leave it. Let's see, we've got a piece of meat here. Leave it. Great. That was some leftover steak I had for Inertia, leave it. Of course, you're gonna need to phase in these pop quizzes with your dog. You still wanna make sure that you're prepared to intervene if you're teaching them a new concept or if this whole idea of spontaneous training sessions like this is new to them. I'm not even having to say leave it. What about some Taco Bell sauce? You can probably tell we don't cook too much. But I was at the grocery store the other day and they were selling this whole bag of real-life lobster claws. And I was like, I've gotta get that. I only had to tell her leave it the one time. Hey, I'm still paying attention to you. Maybe I'll remind her. Leave it alone, please. If your dog is more advanced though, up the ante by asking them to leave it alone and also spontaneously come to you from across the room. Inertia, come. That's so funny. She's like just being extra safe. Good girl. Stay. Come. Is that funny? Nice job, yes. There you go, good. That was so good, I'm very proud of you. And sometimes you step on the Taco Bell sauce and you still want your dog to leave it alone. Inertia, come. Good girl. Oh look, I was even able to get her to go through this time. Nice job, it's okay, come. This way. Leave it. Yes. Basic impulse control exercises like this are going to come in very handy throughout your dog's life because think about how often your dog is suddenly presented with something that they want to get, but they're not allowed to. I remember one time training Inertia and I accidentally dropped an entire bag of treats and this worked really well. That's one of the many reasons we emphasize leave it so much. There are accidents that happen in their surroundings all the time. And this is a pretty harmless one if she were to get the treats, but could be something more dangerous in the future. Let's cover another completely different example. All right, let's say that when you get home, your dog is so excited to see you and they jump all over you because you've been away for a bit. If this is something that you'd like to stop, simply ignoring your dog for the first 5 minutes or so is a great way to discourage this type of behavior. And at the end of 5 minutes, give them all the love in the world. If you do this over a couple of weeks or maybe more, you'll probably notice that your dog actually gives you a chance to get your groceries inside the house without totally flipping out and jumping all over the place. Come when called is another one of my very favorite things to practice with Inertia a few seconds at a time throughout the day. You can see right now she's just walking around. She sees mom with a camera over there. And so I might just say, Inertia, come. And like before, by teaching your dog to come to you while you and your dog are not in a rehearsed state of mind, you're teaching them how to come to you on short notice. Think about it. When do you want your dog to come to you the most? It's not when they're completely focused on you in a dedicated training session, but when their mind is wandering and they're focused on something completely different than you. A dog is truly trained in these small moments, and it's the little things that you do that are ultimately going to determine how well your dog listens. Throughout the day, ask yourself, what can you do for the next 30 seconds with your dog to establish or further your communication together? Short, spontaneous training sessions like this are the key to cementing your dog's training in the real world. So go ahead and get started on polishing up your basics by signing up for my totally free digital dog training course, 30-Day Perfect Pup. I'll have a link below. Subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Get a copy of both of my books too. I'll have all of the links below.